Help me reach 1,000 subscribes. Support the video with a like and leave your thoughts in the comments. I read every comment. Thanks. I grew up believing loyalty meant endurance. My mother taught me that a man proves his worth by staying quiet, working hard, and never embarrassing the family. Ambition to her wasn't about dreams. It was about obedience. I married Emily thinking love worked the same way. You show up, you provide, you stay. I didn't know then that silence can be weaponized or that loyalty can be used to blind you. Emily and I met in our 20s. She was warm, funny, effortlessly charming in rooms where I preferred corners. My older brother Daniel was already the golden child. He had confidence, a loud laugh, and our mother's constant approval. I was the steady one, the reliable one. When Emily chose me, I thought I'd finally stepped out of his shadow. For the first few years, life felt simple. Not perfect, but real. We rented a small house, cooked together, talked late into the night. I worked long hours at a logistics firm, climbing slowly, responsibly. Emily said she admired that I was patient. My mom said I lacked ambition. She said it often, always with a smile that felt like a warning. Daniel thinks bigger, she'd say. You're too comfortable. Then the small changes started. Emily became distant in ways that were easy to excuse. She stayed late helping clients. She guarded her phone like it held state secrets. Daniel was suddenly around more, dropping by unannounced, offering advice, joking that I worked too much. My mom encouraged it. Family should be close, she said. You could learn from your brother. I trusted them. That's the part that still makes my chest ache. I trusted my wife. I trusted my brother. I trusted my mother to protect me, even if she didn't fully respect me. When Emily pulled away from me physically, my mom framed it as my failure. Women need ambition, she told me. Drive. You've settled. I internalized it. I worked harder. I tried to be better. I didn't ask the questions that scared me. Years passed like that. Quiet, confusing years where my marriage felt hollow but stable, like a house with good walls and no warmth. Emily and I drifted into routines instead of conversations. Daniel advanced in his career, celebrated loudly at family dinners. My mother praised him openly, then looked at me with disappointment disguised as concern. You should listen to your brother, she'd say. He understands life. The truth stayed hidden because everyone played their role perfectly. Emily acted patient. Daniel acted supportive. My mom acted disappointed in me, which somehow kept me focused on proving myself instead of noticing what was being taken from me. I became smaller without realizing it, less curious, less confident. I mistook endurance for virtue. The revelation didn't come from a dramatic confession. It came from exhaustion. One night, after another family dinner where I'd been subtly compared and quietly diminished, I sat alone in my car and felt something break. Not anger, awareness. I realized I'd been living a life designed by other people's expectations. I went home and looked at Emily differently. Not accusing, observing. Patterns I'd ignored became obvious. Shared looks that lingered too long. Inside jokes I wasn't part of. Her defensiveness when I mentioned Daniel's name. The way my mother always redirected conversations when I got close to discomfort. It was all there. It had always been there. I just hadn't been allowed to see it. I didn't confront anyone. Not yet. I needed certainty, not suspicion. I needed to understand how deep the betrayal went, and how long it had been happening. What terrified me most wasn't the cheating. It was the possibility that my own mother had helped hide it, that she'd watched me doubt myself for years and chosen silence. That night, lying next to Emily, I understood something clearly for the first time. I wasn't lacking ambition. I'd been conditioned to suppress it. And whatever truth I was about to uncover, I knew one thing for certain. I would never endure quietly again. Sleep didn't come easily. My mind replayed moments I dismissed for years, each one rearranging itself into a clearer picture. I felt grief for the man I had been, and a strange calm for the man forming underneath. I didn't feel hatred yet. I felt focus. Whatever was buried in my family, I would dig out slowly, carefully, and on my own terms. Even the truth, I knew, would not be painful for me. The next morning, I didn't speak to Emily about last night. I didn't ask questions or accuse. I watched. I listened. Over the following days, subtle observations became confirmations. Secretive texts, quiet excuses, fleeting glances when Daniel's name came up. My mother smiled knowingly when I hesitated to speak, and I understood she'd known all along. 10 years. 10 years of betrayal hidden in plain sight. I planned carefully. I didn't want confrontation in the moment. I wanted clarity, proof, and leverage. I installed security cameras in common areas. Nothing invasive, just enough to record interactions. I checked phone records through my own accounts. Not hacking, just administrative oversight I was entitled to. Each tiny discovery reinforced the truth I'd suspected. Emily and Daniel had been seeing each other long-term. My mother had orchestrated it, subtly guiding the narrative, ensuring I never questioned what I should have. It wasn't just cheating. It was a conspiracy designed to keep me submissive, to maintain appearances while my own family dismantled my marriage quietly. The day I confronted them, I did it with precision. I gathered Emily and Daniel in the living room, my mother present, her expression neutral. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I presented everything calmly. Texts, emails, photos, security footage. The betrayal hit them visibly, not because I exposed it, but because I was finally unshakable. The calm clarity in my voice turned every lie into a fragile truth, and every truth into undeniable evidence. Emily's face went pale. Daniel's jaw tightened. My mother's composure faltered ever so slightly. How did you? Emily began, but I cut her off with a single look. For 10 years, you've all acted as though I lacked ambition, as though I'd never see this. I've watched. I've waited. I've learned. I'm done being blind. Silence filled the room, heavy, suffocating, real. They tried to defend themselves. Emily claimed loneliness. Daniel tried humor to lighten the weight. My mother spoke a protecting family reputation. None of it worked. I didn't need apologies. I needed acknowledgement. I wanted them to recognize that control and manipulation would no longer dictate my life. 10 years of subtle erosion. 10 years of quiet betrayal, and I was finally awake. Next, I took steps that shocked them more than evidence ever could. I separated finances immediately, reversing joint accounts and removing any discretionary access Emily or Daniel had. I legally altered estate and property documents, ensuring my assets were protected. My mother tried to intervene, but I made it clear. Past mistakes did not entitle her to continued authority over my life. Each action was precise, measured, a demonstration that I could act decisively without rage. The calmness was a cruelest revelation. They expected an emotional collapse, but I offered them control over nothing. I moved out briefly, rented a small apartment across town, and for the first time in years, felt the weight of 10 years lift. The freedom was intoxicating, not because I had left Emily, but because I had reclaimed my agency. Messages and calls came from Emily and Daniel, desperate, pleading, try to manipulate the narrative. I didn't respond. I watched quietly, letting their panic validate the years they had manipulated me. They realized that without my silence, their schemes crumbled. Over the next month, the emotional equilibrium I maintained turned into a calculated exposure. I informed friends and distant family, not to shame, but to ensure transparency. My mother's influence waned, her whispered advice no longer carrying weight. The betrayal was public enough to prevent further secrecy, but discreet enough that I maintained dignity. Emily and Daniel had no audience to manipulate, no shadows to hide behind. And finally, they faced consequences proportional to the years they thought they could control me. Revenge, I realized, wasn't dramatic acts or public humiliation. It was reclamation. It was proving that endurance without awareness is not virtue. Clarity and action are. The emotional weight lifted not from their punishment, but from the simple act of reclaiming my narrative. I had endured for 10 years, yes, but I had learned. And now, 10 years of deception couldn't touch me. Weeks later, I met someone new, someone unaware of my past. Her warmth was genuine, uncalculated, and for the first time, I felt trust without doubt. My mother tried to comment. Emily tried subtle manipulation. Daniel attempted jokes, but it was all background noise. I had rebuilt boundaries, rebuilt self-respect, and most importantly, rebuilt myself. The lesson was stark, raw, and unforgettable. Ambition is not always measured in career milestones or money. Sometimes it's measured in awareness, in refusing to endure manipulation, in reclaiming the life stolen by those you love most. My mother's words, once cutting, now rang hollow. I didn't lack ambition. I lacked clarity. And once I found it, nothing, not Emily, not Daniel, not even my mother, could touch the life I chose to live. In the end, the betrayal became the catalyst for a life I might never have imagined. 10 years of deception ended not with rage, but with strategy, calm, and ultimate freedom. And as I walked away from the shadows of my past, I felt, for the first time, truly unbreakable.